Tick, tick, the sweat on Tina's back isn't from the sun. It is from the uniformed officer walking toward her tray of fake malt. Her hands tremble as she balances the tray on her head. The weight of 21 cans presses into her skull. Only 2 are deadly. She knows exactly where they sit. She placed them there herself, label outward, rim sealed tight. The officer is close now. He stops. "Hey, small girl," he says, wiping his forehead. "How much for the malt?" She swallows. Her voice cracks. 500, sir." He eyes her. "It better be cold." Her fingers hover toward the safe side of the tray. She grabs the first can she knows is real. But then, no. "Gimme that one." He points directly at one of the fake ones. Her heart flips. That one holds powdered cocaine, enough to imprison her for life. She forces a nervous laugh. "Ah. That one is not cold, sir. Let me give you a better one." "I said that one." Her mind races. "Think, Tina. Think," then, screeching tires. A car skids just beyond the terminal. Screams. A small accident. The officer turns his head. In that second, she moves, drops the tray. Cans scatter. She grabs the dangerous one and bolts. Behind her, she hears, "Hey! Stop that girl!" Feet pound behind her. Her slippers flap against the concrete. Blood rushes to her ears. She sprints into the crowd, weaving between bodies, breath ragged. Chest on fire. She does not stop until she is inside a public toilet stall. The door slams. She locks it. She sits on the bowl with her mouth over her fist to keep from screaming. Her tray is gone. So is her freedom, and still, all she can think is, how many more times will I escape before I finally get caught? Please subscribe to this channel to support us. It's free. Thank you. Before the tray, before the drugs, before the officer, Tina was just a girl who wanted to learn. She grew up in a ramshackle wooden house on the outskirts of the city, where every neighbor's door creaked and the wind whispered through gaps in the walls. Her father, Pa Monday, used to fix cars in a small garage under a tattered sign. He was strong-shouldered and kind-eyed, but lately he had begun to drink away his worry lines. His dreams of building a better life for Tina and her mother cracked under the weight of rising rent and dwindling customers. Her mother, Mama Joy, spent days washing clothes by hand at the river and nights mending torn clothes from begging neighbors. She was soft yet unbreakable, the kind of woman who could cry under her breath so Tina would not know how hungry they were until it was nearly unbearable. Tina was clever. In primary school, she answered questions before the teacher finished asking them. She had an uncanny memory for stories. She could recite poems she heard only once. But intelligence was a luxury when every meal was a question. As she grew older, she learned to swallow her dreams of college so she could pretend that living day to day was enough. But that pretense crumbled the day her father borrowed money from Dilotti. Dilotti was everything Tina's father was not. He dressed in a leather jacket, wore tinted glasses even at night, and spoke with a slow confidence that frightened even the bravest. He ran the street board, but everyone knew he trafficked more than influence. He trafficked futures. When Pa Monday missed a payment, Dilotti did not ask for interest. He asked for collateral. He told Pa Monday he would forgive the debt if Dilotti could take something of equal value. Pa Monday balked, but Dilotti pressed him until there was nothing left to give but Tina. One Thursday morning, 3 of Dilotti's boys arrived, slick-eyed and quiet. They did not break the door. They asked Pa Monday out front. They sat him on a wooden stool as he looked from boy to boy, voice trembling, begging. The work Dilotti demanded was not hard to describe. Tina would sell cans of malt at the airport. But those cans had been pried open, filled with a deadly white powder, then resealed. They were perfected weapons. "You sell them," Dilotti said, voice like a broken promise, "or your daughter works until the debt is paid." Pa Monday fell silent. Mama Joy fell to her knees crying and begging. Tina looked away. That night, the boys came back for her. They tethered her ankles, placed a hood over her head, and dragged her into a shabby SUV. The city lights smeared past. She felt her heartbeat in her throat. She tried to scream but only choked on fear. When they arrived at the safe house by the airport, her hood came off, and she saw the stacked cardboard boxes, the empty chairs, the stale air that tasted of illegal deals. There, a woman broke open a can of malt in front of her and poured the golden liquid down the drain. When it fizzled, she said quietly, "Welcome to your new life." Tina's first night in Delotti's compound was the longest night of her life. She lay on a thin mattress that smelled like damp wood and regret. She pressed her palm to the rusty bars of the window and wept softly. She thought of her school uniform, the way her sandals fit her small feet, the taste of Mama Joy's porridge. She didn't cry only for herself, she cried because she understood how fragile her parents were. How easily hope could be snuffed out. The next morning, she was shown the camera system, the lists of buyers, and the hidden compartments in every can of malt. 2 cans in each batch were filled with cocaine. Those 2 must be sold first, to settle any unexpected debts. The remaining 21 were real malt, meant to distract suspicion. She learned to identify the 2 at a glance: smell, slight weight difference, even the faint, almost invisible scratch on the lid where powder had been poured. She memorized it all in silence, except when Delotti lectured her. "You want to read books?" he asked, ledger in hand. "There are volumes of numbers in this book. Learn them if you're smart." His smile was cold. "Sell these tomorrow. No mistakes." That night, Tina tried to run. She crept to the window, pushed with all her slender arms. It barely budged. She realized the door was locked. The walls were too high. The compound was surrounded by razor wire and cats that never meowed. She sat back on the mattress, hugging her knees. Each attempt to stand was a reminder that Delotti owned her. She felt her heart shrink. A week later, she ran again. She followed instructions from a neighbor's daughter who had escaped once before. The girl had given her a scrap of paper with a number scrawled on it. Tina tucked it in her shoe, sneaked out through a service door, and followed the dusty road to the nearest village. But Delotti's men found her by morning. They brought her back at dawn, bruised and silent. Delotti waited by the window, his silhouette still as death. "One more time," he said, "and your parents will pay." He pulled out a lighter and flicked it. "You want to see them burn?" She never tried again. Now, day after day, she hawks malt at the airport. The crowd is a blur of brown and gray uniforms, tattered luggage, and frantic goodbyes. But on a good day, an officer or 2 will pat her shoulder, lift a can, sniff it. They never linger. They never suspect. Tina's heart pounds every time she hears malt. Cold malt. She walks the rows of taxi drivers and travelers, balancing the tray that might end her life. She smiles, fierce, but brittle. She prays no one asks for the cans with powder. That day, as she walks near Gate 7, Sergeant Amati appears. He is tall, authoritative, with a bullet scar above his right cheekbone. He does not smile. He crosses his arms. He studies her the way a hawk studies a mouse. He grabs a can without asking and holds it at eye level. Tina's heart leaps into her throat. "What's your price?" She gulps. 500, sir." Her voice is gravel, but it trembles. He nods, uncapping it. He glances at her, young, skinny, afraid. He takes a sip. It is real malt. He frowns. "You sell these anywhere else?" She shakes her head. "Only here." His eyes narrow. "What time did you get to the airport?" 5 a.m., she says. Her throat is dry. She knows she is lying. She arrived at 5:30, after Delotti's men dropped her off. But she cannot say so. He nods slowly. He hands the kin back. Keep the change. He tosses 100 naira coin at her. He does not leave. Hours later, Tina returns to their compound. Daladi is pacing. He slaps the ledger closed. That officer asked too many questions and you almost sold yourself out. He stabs a finger at her chest. You messed up, you better be careful. She wants to scream, it's not my fault. But her mouth is dry. I'm sorry, she whispers. Daladi sighs. All right. Tomorrow you go again. But be careful. Remember the rule, 2 cans, 2 people. First, sell the dangerous ones. Then the rest. He points to the door. Now go to bed. Big day tomorrow. Tina cannot sleep. Her body aches from standing all day, her mind aches from fear that would not sleep. She thinks of her parents, old, broken, helpless. She thinks of the Kinamati drank. She thinks of Daladi prying eyes over every of her move. And she thinks of that question, a voice inside her that grows louder every day. What do you become when the only way to survive is to betray everything you believe in? She breathes in, tries to steady her thoughts. She remembers Mama Joy's lullaby, a song about sunrise and hope. But that feels like a memory from another lifetime. Now, hope tastes like dust and gold. It is heavy to carry. The next morning, before dawn, Tina sets out with a new ritual. She wakes before Daladi's men arrive. She dresses in her father's old shirt because it makes her feel taller, braver. She slips her feet into worn sandals and ties her hair tight. She whispers to herself, be invisible. Be quiet. Be nothing. At the terminal, she finds her usual spot near gate 7. The sun peeks through broken glass panes. The airport smells of jet fuel and sweat. She nods to a cleaner, a vendor, a beggar child. She knows these faces by heart. None suspect her. She places the 2 powder-filled cans on the left of her tray, side by side. The rest are real. It is halfway through the morning when a burly man in plain clothes approaches. His shoes click, echoing in the hall. He observes Tina's tray, eyes flickering between cans. He points at one on the left. That one. Her heart stutters. She forces a smile and reaches for one of the safe cans. But he says, no. I want that one. He taps at the lid of the second powder-filled can. She shakes her head, voice thin. That one is already sold. Let me give you this one. He narrows his eyes. Don't lie to me. I know what you're doing. Panic floods her chest. She clenches her teeth. She says nothing. He smirks, leans in, lifts the lid. A faint chemical scent drifts out. He sniffs, eyes widening. Where did you get this? He glances at her, anger simmering. Please, sir. I don't know, she pleads. It was given to me. He grabs her arm. You're coming with me. A crowd gathers. Her vision blurs. She feels the world tilt. The sound of her own breathing fills her ears. She sees Daladi's face flash in her mind, calm. Satisfied. She thinks of her parents. She thinks of the question burning in her soul, what do you become when the only way to survive is to betray everything you believe in? She hears someone shout, police. Police. She stiffens, calm ends. Chaos begins. They haul her into a back office, lock the door. The officer from before, Sergeant Amadi, stands there, arms folded. His face is unreadable. He watches her slump to the floor. She stares at him. Why? She whispers. I didn't want to. He crouches, level with her. I saw you. I tried to trust you. I didn't believe a girl lick. You could be part of this. Tears blur her vision. He forced me. He said he would kill my parents if I ran again. His jaw tightens. He leans closer. Who? She passes him a name. Dlottie. He nods once. Stay here. He leaves. The door clicks. She slides her back down the wall and weeps. Each tear is a confession of broken dreams. She is unprotected, powerless, convicted before she is proven guilty. In the interrogation room, Amadi prepares for her statement. He watches her pace. She tries to speak, but tears choke her. He slides her water. She gulps it. She closes her eyes. She begins to speak, her voice soft. My father owed money. He borrowed from Dlottie. He said he would take me if we could not pay. I tried to run twice. He caught me. He threatened my parents. I had no choice. Her voice cracks. She looks at him. I thought he would kill me first. Amadi listens as she recounts every detail, the stolen cans, the pearl-white powder, the suffocating fear, the broken promises. He writes furiously. He pauses. What did you learn in school? He asks. She swallows. I didn't finish high school. I was meant to register for law school this month. I studied hard. I passed my exams. My admission letter is home. She touches the collar of her shirt, near her heart. I had a future. I wanted to help people. I dreamt of being a lawyer. Amadi's face softens. He leans back. You still could be. She shakes her head. I ruined it. I betrayed myself. He stands, removes his jacket. Come with me. They drive to Dlottie's compound. It is quiet, too quiet. The gate is open, swaying. Amadi signals for backup. They move in. Inside, they find crates of malt cans, hidden compartments, ledger books, a small safe. His men are gone. Amadi's team traces missing phones, bank transfers, whispered secrets. They watch security cameras. They follow leads to a guest house in Okigwe. At dawn, they arrest Dlottie and two henchmen. In the sparse motel room, Dlottie wears a smug grin. He is playing cards with one of his men and sipping tea. Amadi slaps the cuffs on him. You have the right to remain silent, Dlottie interrupts, voice soft, she's just a child. See how small she is. He nods toward Tina, who stands nearby. I forced her. She didn't know what she was doing. Amadi studies him. Dlottie's eyes don't waver. He seems bored, as if caught robbing a petty store. Can you endanger your own daughter? Amadi asked. Dlottie shrugs. Collateral comes in unexpected forms. The confession is enough. Dlottie and his men are taken to court. Back at the station, they process Tina. She is technically an accomplice, but the evidence of coercion is overwhelming. Still, protocol demands bail. Her parents cannot pay. Amadi signs the bail papers himself. Outside, Tina sees her mother and father step through the station doors. Pa Monday's eyes are red. Mama Joy clutches his arm and looks at Tina as if seeing her for the first time. She runs to them, collapses, and lets herself be held. They do not speak. They press together and cry. Amadi stands back, turning his hat in his hands. When Tina sees him, she nods slowly. Her eyes say thank you and I'm sorry at once. He hesitates. You should go home. We will see you soon. She nods and turns. In the days that follow, Tina returns to school. She enrolls in night classes funded by a small charity Amadi arranged. She studies relentlessly, night and day. Her parents watch her with pride and fear, pride that their daughter survived, fear that Dlottie's friends might still be looking for her. At home, late at night, she lies awake. She hears her mother's gentle breathing, her father's soft snore. She thinks of that core question, sharper now than ever: what do you become when the only way to survive is to betray everything you believe in? She knows the answer is not simple. She knows survival demanded her betrayal. But she will not be defined by that moment. She closes her eyes and vows, I will use what I learned. I will prosecute those who force girls into this. I will not let another child pay for her father's debt. Months pass. Amadi visits her once a week. He brings textbooks, encourages her, asks about her progress. She thanks him but does not let him see how afraid she still is. She practices speeches in front of a cracked mirror, reciting lines like a ritual, justice must exist for those who have no voice. One rainy afternoon, she walks into the courthouse for the first time as a student lawyer volunteer. Her heart pounds, not with fear, but with purpose. She sees Daladi in the dock. He looks older, broken. His power is gone. He watches her from behind bars. In that moment, she understands, she may have lost her innocence. But she has gained her voice. Years later, on a bright morning, the courtroom is packed. A teenage girl sits trembling in the detendant's chair, accused of trafficking drugs. Tina stands before her in flowing black robes. She is now Barrister Tina Monday. Her voice rings clear, every child deserves a choice, she says. The law must protect those who are forced into the darkest corners of crime. We must remember that no one is born guilty. She looks at the judge, then at the jury. The courtroom is silent. Tina's heart pounds, but it is no longer from fear. It is from conviction. She thinks of that first near escape in the airport. She thinks of the question she lived with for so long. What do you become when the only way to survive is to betray everything you believe in? She knows her answer now. She became someone who refuses to let others suffer her fate. She became the voice for the voiceless. And though some questions remain unanswered, why her father borrowed, why no one intervened, why a girl had to pay for her parents' debts, she has no doubt about what comes next, because she survived. And now, she fights to matter. Thanks for watching and listening. Let me know your thoughts about the story in the comments section, like and share, turn on your notification bell, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.